Okay, let's try to understand what this program will do before we look at the code. So in this program we will have two threads, the main thread, and we will also have another thread which will execute a function called the thread function. The main thread is going to capture user input and copy it as a string into the character array named work area. After that, the main thread is going to call the semPost operation on the binary semaphore. This binary semaphore is initialized to 0. So when a post operation is going to be called on the semaphore, any thread that may have blocked on this semaphore would now get unblocked and will be able to proceed and execute. These steps happen inside a while loop in the main thread. Every time it captures user input, it will perform a post on the binary semaphore. In the other thread, a semWait operation is called on the binary semaphore. Because the semaphore is initialized to 0, therefore the thread will immediately get blocked when it calls semWait for the very first time. However, the thread will not remain indefinitely blocked because the main thread is going to call the post operation eventually on the binary semaphore, which will allow the thread function to unblock and proceed. The thread function, when it gets unblocked, will count the number of characters which are present in the string contained in work area, and it will display them on the screen. After doing that, it will again call semWait and it will get blocked. So these steps will also be inside a while loop, a separate while loop in the thread function. It will display the number of characters in the string contained in work area, and after that it will call semWait. So if you have been able to follow along, you now would understand that the code inside the thread function will execute after the code in the main thread. Specifically, there are two while loops, one in the main function and one in the thread function. When one iteration is completed by the while loop in the main thread, only then the while loop in the thread function can execute its one iteration. So in this way, using semaphores, a kind of discipline is enforced. The iteration of while loop inside the thread function should happen after the iteration of the while loop in the main thread.